In this video, we're going to talk about several ways that you can become a successful astrologer. If you are an aspiring astrologer, then this is for you. When you start out with your astrology life, you learn charts, you start to learn how to read charts. Next thing, you're doing charts for friends and family, and then maybe one day you decide you want to go professional. In a way, there are several ways that you can become a successful astrologer, and I'm just going to go over a few of them with you here now. A successful astrologer works on charts regularly. She looks at new charts, interprets and forecasts every week. She does not let a month slip past without analysing a chart. She has charts lined up ahead for interpretation. I'm referring to her, but I mean him as well. So what does this mean? She works on charts regularly. This means that typically you are you're working with charts. Ideally, you want to be looking at a new chart every week and basically cover 50 charts within a year, and that would be what I would call working on charts regularly. If you have clients, of course, you will be working on their charts all the time, but generally, if you're trying to be a successful astrologer, you need to be working on charts regularly. A successful astrologer has many income streams sourced from a broad output base, including client consultations, lectures, teaching, podcasts, writing horoscopes, etc. She does not depend on client consultations alone for her livelihood. So a successful astrologer does not depend on client consultations alone for his or her livelihood. There is a misconception that astrologers just read charts, but really to become successful you need to broaden your output. I've spoken about this before, and start doing other things as well, such as the lectures, podcasts, or whatever. A successful astrologer knows how to be easygoing. A successful astrologer is keen to collaborate and work with other astrologers within her community. This comes back to the question about whether you feel that other astrologers are your competition or your collaborators. And you have to get the mindset that they're not your competition, they are your collaborators. You can collaborate with other astrologers and build good things in the future through the synastry of 1 and 1 equals 3, not 2. Whereas if you consider your other astrologers as competition, and they're doing a chart reading for $29, and you think, oh, well, I'll offer mine for $25 with a discount or something, there's no point in competing with them. They're offering something entirely different. There is room in our space for every type of astrologer, and there is plenty of room for you. You're attracting the type of clients you like by your chart, and they are attracting theirs by theirs. So do not get into the mindset of competing with other astrologers. You want to be collaborating. A successful astrologer knows how to press herself to appeal to different clients. She is not a one-trick pony. What I mean by this is you will meet a great variety of clients. There will be young clients, older clients. There will be well-off clients and financially challenged clients. There will be clients in jobs and out of work, and there'll be those who are married, divorced, or single. And there are many types of different clients, and if you niche down in a way to only deal with a particular group, say you only want to work with teenagers, although having a niche is a great idea, ideally you still need to be flexible enough that you can deal with your clients' parents, friends, and children as well. You are able to produce and do readings and so on for all types of people. A successful astrologer markets herself well, truthfully, and consistently. She is always tending her platform and knows what works for her. What this means is that you market yourself truthfully. So if you have certificates, you can put them out there, but if you don't have a certificate, you can't put them out there. You can only refer that you are a certified astrologer if you actually are, and then you need to state what certifications you have. Although there is no legislation or anything stopping anyone saying I'm an astrologer and reading a couple of charts, the point is that if you are going to be successful, you need to market yourself truthfully, so that you are saying, well, I've got 10 years experience, or I've got 10 months experience, and I have this certificate or that certificate or whatever, or I took Joe Bloggs' class or something. You need to be able to say truthfully who you are and what your credentials are to everybody. You're putting yourself out into the world, and the actual, I want to say karmically, you have to do it right. You have to be on point there, and then the universe will support you. A successful astrologer is easily found by Google. and make sure her website and social media accounts have current and relevant content. Her site does not have stale, 6-month-old and out-of-date material. When you set yourself up as an astrologer, you will have a website. That is essential. And you need to make sure that all the information and posts and pages on your website have up-to-date information. You can't be referencing sign up now for a course that happened 6 months ago. That really does give a bad impression that you're not tending to your website, therefore you're lacking attention to detail, and therefore that will no doubt follow into your clients' consultations. It doesn't give a strong impression to people who maybe are going through the internet looking for someone to do astrology work for them. So it is essential that if you do have a website, you have to look after it. If you've got old stuff, take it down or move it into your archives, and make sure that your current prices are there and your availability is there. You don't want to be referencing classes you were teaching last year, 6 months ago or 10 years ago. It really doesn't give a good impression, and people will click straight off and move on to the next person. Regarding the social media presence, I don't believe you need to be on every social media platform. I'm certainly not. I was at one stage, but it's all overwhelming. What I'm trying to do at this point is to do one thing well, and maybe 1.5 things well, rather than be everywhere. So at the moment, for instance, my focus is actually on YouTube, and a second focus will be on Instagram. But you're not necessarily going to find me on Twitter and Pinterest and those other sites as well. The idea is that whichever social media platform you find you resonate most with, go there and put your astrology business up there and do it well. A successful astrologer prices her services in the correct range. That is, she charges in the sweet spot at the intersection of her ability and her experience. Pricing for astrological consultations or lectures or whatever is always a hot topic, because you are making the prices yourself. As the astrologer, you are saying, I'm going to be charging this. It has to be a sweet spot between your abilities and experience. If you've only been doing astrology for 10 months, you're going to be charging less for your readings than someone who's been doing them for 10 years. But by the same token, if you can only read a natal chart and are self-taught, or perhaps don't even have any accreditations, or don't know everything in great detail, you will still only be able to charge a lower rate. Whereas a highly professional astrologer who's been doing it for 25 years, has done all the courses, knows everything, and has written all the books, and knows everything there is to know about astrology, they will certainly be able to charge a higher rate because of their greater experience. And that's really pretty straightforward. So in a way, you have the 5 levels of astrologer. I'll put the link down below to that video, and it will tell you exactly what the 5 levels of astrology are, and therefore the pricing would go up depending where you are in that ranking. A successful astrologer has a network of contacts who help her promote her business. She interfaces effectively and regularly with them. So a successful astrologer has a network of contacts. I mean, in the astrological community. These are astrologers or new age people who you are meeting with and supporting you as well. So there could be other astrologers that you get together to collaborate on some deal or some video or some promotion or a workshop or something, like the things I do with Toby and Tatiana and so on. Or they could be people in the New Age community who are not necessarily astrologers, such as tarot readers that I can refer to, and or numerologists who I can recommend. I'll put a couple of links down below. But they are also New Age people who will maybe also appeal to your clients, who you can actually refer people to, and they add, you are building community outside the actual bubble that is astrology into the broader New Age community. This is how it's making friends, really. It's building your network. Yeah, very much an 11th house situation going on there. A successful astrologer has a focus for her work and knows her speciality inside out. She is not a Jack or Jill of all trades and a master of none. Now, this comment seems to go in the face of the one I made earlier, but it's about knowing your speciality. If you set yourself up as a speciality astrologer, perhaps you do wedding astrology or you do business startup astrology, and you set yourself up or as a financial astrologer or anything like that, you will then set your whole brand up and your whole focus of your website towards weddings or business. And in that niche, you will be the strong contender. You will know exactly what's going on. You'll be fully able to present packages perhaps to the brides and saying, when's a good time to get married? I'm looking to get married the year after next, 18 months down the line, which are good months, help me out there. And you are ready with your packages that you can say, I can offer you this, this and this in your wedding selection or your wedding elections and consultations with partnership and so on. By the same token, if you set yourself up as a speciality business consultant astrologer, you're going to have access to all the startup dates and charts and so on, and be ready to comment or something like that. So your packages that you would offer on your website will be more specific to launching a new business, even if you want to go into stocks, buying stock in Apple or IBM or something, and you are set up to immediately be able to offer advice in that area. And you can see the two are entirely different. So know your speciality, know your niche, and know it well. A successful astrologer develops presentations, courses and workshops that pay her well for her time and expertise. She has lecture outlines ready when invited to speak at a conference and gets her information to the organisers promptly. She is considered one of the easy astrologers to work with, and she is not a prima donna. Prima donna, or is it prima donna? You know who they are. They're the ones who have fits, bust a gut, and are just high maintenance people to deal with. So if you are invited to speak at your local astrology group or some conference, you are ready already with 3 conference topics ready or lecture topics that you could talk about. You've got your little sheet there, what they will get, how long it will be, and the type of audience is it beginners, intermediate, or advanced, and you are ready with those, so that as soon as you get the invitation, you can get your topics away straight away. You don't leave your host hanging for months and months and months saying, well, I know she's going to talk in June, to be advised. That really is bad form. You need to support the actual people who are hosting you for speaking, get your information to them, get your contact details to them, get your promo photos to them, and all of that, rather than potential clients coming to the website saying, oh, I'm going to conference, so I'm going to look at this local group here, and I say, oh, May, June and July, to be advised, there's a speaker and it's going to be Joe Bloggs, but we've no clue what they're talking about. And it really is, it shows a lack of respect again for your hosts. So a successful astrologer will be organized with topics to go and get them out to their hostees, almost hostesses perhaps, as soon as possible. A successful astrologer knows when it's time to call in the experts. She has a list of related specialists to whom she can and does refer her clients if necessary. In one of the Clint Eastwood movies, he's sitting around there and he's saying, well, now it's time to call in the experts because the situation got to such a state where they didn't know what to do. Everybody at some point is going to want to call in the experts. If you are just a mainstream or junior astrologer, you need to know when is it time to call in expert astrological advice. And this may be as soon as you get the chart and you look at it and you think, I've got an issue here, I'm not quite sure what to do, and you would call in the experts to help you out there. Or you would want to say, I can't deal with this particular client, let me refer her further up the line to a more experienced, seasoned and professional astrologer. So it depends where you are in this pecking order, but if you think you know everything, then you probably won't want to call in experts. But the point is that you have to know when it's time to call in the experts. A successful astrologer knows her message, remains in her truth, and stays on track within her niche. She does not try to be all things to all people. As a successful astrologer, you need to know who you are and what your genius zone is within the astrological arena. All astrologers will come up and they'll get some training and they'll learn about signs, planets, houses and aspect. Basic, what I call general astrology, they can read a chart. But from that point on, it really is a good idea to specialize into one particular area of astrology and be known for that, to actually own your niche, as we say. And I do refer this back to really to doctors, where anyone who comes out of medical school could probably save your life and knows how the heart works and whatever. But from that point on, some people will specialize into becoming brain surgeons, and another doctor would specialize into being a dermatologist, and they know their niche and they stay in their truth. So although they could both save your life if you were in an accident on the side of the road, if you've got an issue in your head, you're going to want to go to the brain surgeon. And of course, if you're dealing with some skin issues, you're going to want to go to a dermatologist. Ultimately, you want the best guy, and that's why you need to niche up so that you actually become the expert in your field. In this way, you need to know your message. Who are you as a person? Who are you as an astrologer? What is the type of astrology you can do? What type of outcomes can your clients expect? And the type of, then you have a far better chance of attracting the type of clients whom you can help. You cannot put yourself out as a jack of all trades astrologer. That's not true. People do. If you put yourself out as a jack of all trades general astrologer, it's like general practice, and fine, you will find clients. But ultimately, as a specialist astrologer, you want to get up to know your niche, know your speciality, absolutely be the expert in that field, and then you will find that it works for you better. Do not fear that there won't be enough customers. There's customers for everybody, and when people are looking for astrologers, many people will look for a general astrology, but a great segment of the population is looking for expert, specialized education or teaching or consulting, and that's when they will find you. And they're looking for you in certain areas. Again, going back to what I was saying before, that you don't want a financial guy if you're looking for something to do with romance or weddings. So you need to know as an astrologer who you are and stay in your truth. I'd love to hear your comments below. If you feel there are other points that you can add to what it is to be a successful astrologer, write them in the comments below. If you have enjoyed this video, please do give me a thumbs up. It does help the channel grow. I'm Alison Price. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.